Greetings everyone and welcome to another video with me on Newsday. And Newsday for both sides. So I guess, if you haven't seen the news, thank you for coming here. News update first. And if you've already checked out the news other places, well then I guess you're here for a little bit of an opinion. And opinion I'll share. So, Umber Rays asked him from the shadows talking about the new version of Raff. And I did see the comments, and as well, some people talked to me on live stream about the fact that Datamine basically pointed it to being a Thunder Mace type character. And as that turned out to be accurate, kind of spent a day thinking about like who it could possibly be. Who could be a new mace user? I guess a character is going to get a new weapon. No, it's just Raff. uh, that's just kind of funny. They were just like, we need to pick just make it Raff. Well, we got to call it a day kind of thing. Okay, let's do it. All right, so today we're going to be talking about this new Thunder-based character, Raff, who has a new job, which will probably more than, certainly just become a good second or tertiary job for other characters in the future. And we also have Supplicant and Rune Knight as her follow-up, her secondary and third job. So what's there to say about this character? She's a Thunder Elemental 70 cost, which means that she's probably going to be pretty cheap pity. And that's good news for both sides because we've both been hit with just so many 100 cost units, 100 cost limited units. And that it's kind of nice to just get a bit of a break. Also for JP, this makes a ton of sense because we recently got a very powerful water character, so a new thunder character, essentially is the correct way. But this is like a 70 cost and a seasonal 70 cost, which that there could be another thunder character coming in the future too, and that's also kind of just really interesting to see what that's going to be. There's a bunch of ins and outs and things to talk about here. I assume that Global's next character is going to be the new version of Old, who kind of will probably just lose to this character and Thunder teams in general. So, okay, I mean, works for JP in the elemental cycle, not so much for Global. But I digress. Talking about the secondary and third jobs, it's pretty interesting because you look at the primary job and it looks to be like DPS, status effects, and what else? Just like, yeah, damage effects and whatnot. And all of that's pretty interesting. Like on JP, as you can see here, we got essentially the same information that you did. And so the main job just looks to be DPS with status effects, which, sure. Taking the secondary job of Supplicant is interesting because it's Shawls. Shawls has been a really, really strong character ever since newer fire elemental characters have come out, like Soul. And that kind of tends to make me think that this could be a really good character with modified AI, because you look at her primary job and it seems to just be offense, which means that support skills might need to be heavily tuned in her kit to get her to use Shawl's skills, but Shawl's skills do have some really good power, so definitely one to watch for that. As for Rune Knight can definitely up DPS and probably has more synergy with her main job. It'll be interesting to see how this AI works out. As for the general look of this character, it's pretty cool. I think that it's a nice little design, nice color scheme, everything like that. And, Raff is pretty cool, pretty popular, so good. All right, so let's take a look. Limit Burst, Star Spangled Surprise, which, okay, deal large damage up to 2 targets based on the caster's magic stat, absorbs damage dealt. Chance of inflicting slow. Slow is nice. It does counter a lot of the haste-based teams out there, providing that you have a good chance and high faith. Probably a decent chance that this will go off at the very least. It's interesting though that it's a select 2 targets, because you don't see that on limit bursts. I don't think ever. And that's a pretty powerful ability. It has good range on it, so I think this ability could be just generally nice. I want to see the animation, though, in the future to really, just because I'm curious about what it looks like. Secondary ability, we get a preview of its Magical Strike. Lowers target's unit's attack resistance for 3 turns, then deals medium damage based on the caster's magic. Sequentially activates Drain Decoration. Drain Decoration bestows an absorption of portion of damage dealt self and ally, raises defense piercing rate and spirit piercing rate. So looking at this ability, it's power up for other units to either be stronger physically or magically. That's great. Means that she can work on a variety of bestows absorption of portion of damage dealt self and allies. That's like the Astrius regeneration effect. And that's kind of interesting, giving that to another unit. It's only for 1 turn, so they got to make it count. That can be potentially, with some high damage dealers, a pretty strong secondary source of healing. Looking a little bit below, we have also deals damage large with befuddling Spearfall, which mage, but okay. To targets within range based on caster's magic, chance of inflicting confusion, and inflicts magic damage reduction effect for 3 turns. I think this is pretty cool. Wait, it's actually a different damage type too. All right, so it is here. I don't know how really good that is. I mean, if it's magic based, it should be fine because it's based on that. But I'm curious about how much the damage will be, because if you don't have spear support, this might just really not do that much. This is just, well, hold on. I'll save that because we still have a couple of other things to talk about. First, Master Quest, or Master Ability, I should say, which is not on the global one, basically is an extra 20 towards magic resistance penetration, which you have main job and Rune Knight there, basically pointing towards dealing a lot of damage, so that's pretty good, all in all, at what her kit is previewed as. Now let's head over and talk about which VC on the global side doesn't seem to have any specific upgrades to any specific characters, which might be a misprint based on the news, but more than likely that's probably pretty accurate. Also, taking a look at it, it looks like Raff, Winter version, and Twinkling Stars Holy Night are available for a limited period of time. So yeah, they definitely shuffled both versions with that limited tag on this, which probably is not going to be super happy for most everybody. But taking a look at this, we're getting for party ability for great swords, fists, and maces. So in case you were wondering which team they were pushing, there it is. Increase maximum HP, increases weakness resistance rate, so basically can be buffed as easily or potentially at all. Increases agility, so maxed out VC with agility, duels only, or as it's put on global, yeah, duels only, that's fine. Increased reaction prevention rate, spirit up +1, and magic attack resistance +2 when in duels for vision card. Taking a look for the specific unit is getting magic power up, which I think is fine. This VC, boy oh boy, what's there to say? Oh, also it has an ability attached to it too. 3 consecutive magic damages after removing target shell. Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at this whole picture. First, I just want to talk about the VC because that will lead into talking about the unit. I think that this VC is a strong consideration for possibly or probably should get, because it is just an agility. Another source of agility, and very specifically for a team that is mostly already proven. Like, you look at it and you could go Queen Mashari and Urel. You could go Raff and, well, I don't think this character is not out there, but I do believe Bronwell, who will eventually show up. People who are wondering where she is, I don't know. I don't work on the dev team, so there you go. You look at different elements, and there can be different combinations here. Hell, you could do Orin and no for just a really weird combination with it. But very clearly to me, this is Thunder Asterisk, who's not out on global yet, but will be soon, and Bridal Alaya. And it works, this VC essentially works perfectly with them. You're getting maximum HP, which all units can use. You're getting debuff resistance, which all units can use. You're getting agility, which all units can use. And you're getting a bonus of reaction prevention, which, while not terribly expensive, is just a nice thing to have, especially when it's you versus another party. They don't have this, you do. Throwing this directly on Raff is just really good, because you're getting magic power up where you specifically need it. And given the team that we're talking about here, there isn't going to be a ton of other magic sources for her, so it might just be enough to keep her damage up. Also significantly lowers the cost for limited time events down to 270 for units if you're running Thunder Asterisk, Bridal Alaya, and her, and she can potentially provide support for a different damage type, which can be really, really useful against multiple different types of teams. But then you also just can potentially remove Shell, which is good for her, and to get a little bit of chaining. There's a bunch of stuff on this VC. It's a really good one. I'm a little disappointed to see that it is just another limited, because I hope we would finally be getting away from this with Sentinels. But not the case. It's going to continue into the 4th year, and that's when. Talking about the unit, though, it's hard to say whether or not this unit is super recommended by me. Just because, yes, this unit definitely has a home on a Thunder-based team. That is very clear, and might even just be generally good if she's any kind of potential of having high damage and some of Shawl's abilities, and she can use Shawl's abilities while you're getting closer to the opponent, and then switches over to DPS. Then that AI is particularly pretty good. We've seen it on other units, and it has been good in the past, and it's still good now. So yeah, I can see this character potentially being good. I can also see a lot of potential problems with the AI not being the way you want. Might be a little bit more set up and all that. And I am curious about how good her DPS is on such a split Thunder team, when it's like essentially the devs are kind of really pointing towards this. Do you want to go Skahal with her? You want to go Red? I don't really know at this point. I kind of need to see more. There's definitely something here that is interesting, but seasonal units have kind of came and gone particularly quickly in how useful they are. And with JP and eventually Global having a big collaboration in the near future, another one I should say, this might be not necessarily the best, but we'll keep an eye on it. All right, next up, there's the data mine map for Arena for JP. A new weapon right here. For JP, we are getting an Ashes of the Apocalypse story update. No hints about who the character might be in this one, so that'll just be a surprise for later, but might even point towards JP's January 1st character, which could be a Megaton character, given that January 1st characters are usually pretty popular. Pickup match Grand C2 is apparently starting. We have not gotten any news about a live stream yet, but I would expect a live stream in the near future. And last but not least, JP does have another event going on for the holidays, and oh my my god, it's so cute. Look at the little Tonberry. Ah! So previously we got the stuffed Moogle. Now we're going to be getting the stuffed Tonberry. And it looks like you can get some pickup tickets potentially for some Christmas units. So, you know, we're going to be killing some holiday plans. Let's go. Old winter units will be big bonuses. Praying that we'll get some gold banners to potentially help older units get upgraded. But yeah, taking a look at it, going to be nice to have both sides on the same page this week. We'll be able to all preview, check out, and potentially go for this unit if you desire. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Here. I also want to just say at the very end of this video, I had a really weird conspiracy thing or really weird thought on it, but maybe I'll save it for another video. Later.